Hi everyone, so today the video I'm doing is about everything you need to know about a midwifery degree. So I originally wanted to go into being a lawyer or a family lawyer, just like a caring profession. I didn't really consider like nursing, and then I only really found out about midwifery when I was like in sixth form. But as soon as I heard about it and everything it stood for, I was like, I just really wanted to be a midwife. So I'm just going to tell you like a bit about my journey and just give you a few pointers along the way. Maybe this could help you decide or see if you really want to do midwifery. Hiccup mints. Obviously you have to check to make sure you can actually get onto the course. So I completed an A-level equivalent called the Ibby, and just a quick, because the IB to me is very complicated, but you have to do 6 subjects, and 3 of them at a higher level, 3 of them at a standard level, and the standard level ones are kind of like equivalent to an AS level, whereas the higher levels are a bit more like A levels. So I did English, history, psychology, and then I did math studies, which is like GCSE maths, but a little bit harder, but not as hard as standard maths. French ab initio, which is like GCSE as well, but it's supposed to be a little bit harder, and environmental science and societies. So as you can see from my subjects, they kind of had nothing to do with midwifery initially, because I did want to go into law. But that changed in year 12. So I looked into law when we're looking into like work experiences and stuff like that. I looked into it and like applying. I just wasn't into it. I feel like it's one of those things where you like watch a TV show and then you want to become it. But I watched Suits, the TV show, and I was like, this is not for me. I wanted to do something that was a bit more into the caring side, and so I looked into, a girl told me she was applying to midwifery, and so I looked into that, and then also looked into children nursing because I do love working with children. But then I chose midwifery over children's nursing, and there wasn't really a deciding factor, but I just wanted to learn more about midwifery, and when I was doing my research, just more about midwifery. I could write a personal statement better for midwifery. I just wanted midwifery, basically. So I chose to do midwifery. But I think the thing that solidified it for me was in year 12, we had the option to do 1 week of work experience. I luckily managed to get 2 weeks of work experience. One was just on a postnatal wards in the local hospital, and the second one was a midwifery summer school. And I love both of them, but the summer school was I loved it so much. It was well worth it, waking up at 8 a.m. in the summer to go and do it. Like, it was so good. And it was located in London, and it's run by a London hospital, and I'm not sure if they still do it. So if they do still do it, I might probably do a video about it, or I'll just like leave the details in the comment section, in the description box, I mean. But I enjoyed it. We did 3 days actually on the wards, and then the first 2 days were kind of like teaching us a little bit about, it was kind of like a starter pack for midwifery, just so that we could understand a bit more when we actually went onto the wards. And yeah, so I loved it so much. But if I talk about that, we'll be here for a whole video, so that'll probably be in another video. But obviously it's COVID-19 at the moment, so I don't think they're running it this year. But it was really good, and if they do run it, it was amazing to learn, because they also did like a personal statement workshop and an interview workshop at the end, and I found it so great. Okay, back to what I was meant to be talking about. So that kind of solidified for me that I really wanted to do midwifery. So obviously going into year 13, you were supposed to go to quite a few open days. I personally, I can't even remember what happened. It's only been a year since year 13, but I only went to two. I went to King's College London and Swansea, and I liked Swansea and I liked King's College London, but I didn't want to go to a London university because I really wanted to move out, but London's just so expensive, even with like the bursary and everything. It was just going to be too expensive for me, so I decided I wanted to move far away, and so I came to Newcastle, which to me is a bit like London, but I just like it a lot more, and it's less expensive as well. Now onto the application process. So I applied to 5 universities and I got interviews from 4. So these were the 5 I applied to. I applied to Swansea, Northumbria, South Wales, Cardiff, and Canterbury Christchurch. And I got interviewed from all of them except for South Wales. I never actually got a reply back from them because I had my last interview in January, and then I firmed after my last interview, which was Northumbria. So that was like the end of January, and then I firmed quite soon after, and I withdrew from anybody else who hadn't replied to me. I did get rejected by Swansea, which I was very nervous at the interview, so I feel like that was a factor why I didn't get in. But other than that, I got an offer from Canterbury Christchurch, and I withdrew from Cardiff and South Wales because I got the 2 offers I wanted. But I just wanted to obviously increase my chance because it's quite competitive. So I withdrew from those and I firmed Northumbria. That was my firm choice, and my insurance was Canterbury. And I had been to like a Canterbury midwifery conference. It was like 2 days long, and it was so good. It was very informative. We got to like look around the skills lab, talk more about the interviews. It was so good. So one thing I did want to say before I move on was that I've obviously told you I did like English, history and psychology, so let's compare those to like A levels. So a lot of universities, I wouldn't say a lot, but some of them don't want biology. You don't have to have biology. Like, it's good if you have it because it helps you when you come to the anatomy part, but I personally didn't do biology. I didn't really do a science that really mattered to midwifery. I did environmental science and societies as my standard, but as you can see, I still got in. But always like check the entry requirements, check that you have the grades, check that you have the GCSEs as well, because they do look at your GCSEs to make sure that you have the basics. So yeah, just because I put it on a note. Also, for every midwifery, I think for every healthcare course, like paramedic science, occupational health, physiotherapy, nursing, you have to go for an interview. You just have to go for an interview, so be aware of that when you're like writing your personal statement, because they probably might ask you for some stuff about your personal statement, but that's another video as well. And also you'll have an occupational health check, so if you're not up to date on like your vaccines, then they'll probably just give them to you if you get in, they'll give them to you at uni, and make sure you're all up to date before you go on to placement. Okay, a few things about the midwifery course, because that's what we're now going to get into, is that it is a bit longer than normal university courses. It's 45, I think it's a 45-week course. I don't know how long normal university course is, but I do know my friends' ones are a lot shorter. Like, they finish in like June and I finish like August, I think. To be honest, I don't know, I'm really going with the flow at the moment because there's so much going on. I've just come off placement, so yeah. So it's a 45-week course, and you also, when you're on placement, you do shifts that would match the shifts that you would do if you were qualified and you were a full-time midwife. But obviously when I'm on placement at my uni, we do theory blocks, then we do placement blocks, so it's not so overwhelming. So if you're on placement, you're just on placement, and if you're on theory, you're just doing theory. Okay, sorry, my camera died. Okay, oh, jazzy, sorry. Okay, so we have 3 semesters, I think, and so far, because I'm in first year, we focus on normality, so 50% theory. So I'm going to tell you about the theory first. So in the first semester, we had a referencing module, like how to reference, how to like use like the library, different systems to find like evidence. Then we had another one which was like anatomy and physiology, and then for this semester we have a health and promotion one, so we learn about the sociology side. Then we have another one which for the life of me I cannot remember, so I'll probably like put it in the comments, or you can just research it on the websites, like they tell you the modules that you have. And then for some year-long ones we have like one where we do like learn about like the practical stuff, how to reflect. So we do like venipuncture, how to take blood. Oh my gosh, my mind's gone blank. We do venipuncture, we do other stuff like learn how to give injections, PPE, how to put it on correctly, hand washing, infection control, that kind of stuff. And we also learn about like breastfeeding, so like all the practical kind of stuff that's in a year-long module. And then for the second module that's also year-long, I think, is assessment in midwifery. So we learn about how to do palpations, what happens at booking appointments, how to take history, record keeping, things like that. So that's what we currently learn. And so I'll tell you about a few of like the assessments as well, since we're on theory at the moment. So like for example, for the referencing and like how to provide evidence, we had to do a report about that, how we use different systems, I guess, to find information and to give evidence about a particular topic. For the anatomy one, it was a multiple choice one. I passed both of those. And for this semester, we have a reflective essay for the second module that it's gonna come to me when I finish the video and I'm editing, so I'll probably put it in then. Semester 2, we have an essay about a case study for health promotion, and then we have a reflective essay. And then for our year-longs, we have an OSCE, which is where you give like a presentation. I haven't done one, but I think it's where you like give a presentation, and that's going to be on breastfeeding. And then we also have a presentation for the assessment in midwifery one, where we get to choose the topic. Can't be breastfeeding because we're already doing that for the OSCE, but give a presentation on that, but it has to be obviously from what's been taught in the module. And now semester 2, we have an essay about a case study for health promotion, and then we have a reflective essay. And then for our year-longs, we have an OSCE, which is where you give like a presentation. I haven't done one, but I think it's where you like give a presentation, and that's going to be on breastfeeding. And then we also have a presentation for the assessment in midwifery one, where we get to choose the topic. Can't be breastfeeding because we're already doing that for the OSCE, but give a presentation on that, but it has to be obviously from what's been taught in the module. And now on to placement. So I'm in first year, so first year is about normality, as I've said before, and so we're going to do 8 weeks on community, 4 weeks on birthing centre, and 4 weeks on postnatal ward. So obviously we do birthing centres to kind of keep it as normal as it can be. So I've just had my first block of placement. So we did semester 1 was from September to December. Then our placement block was from January till March. There was 2 placements in it. I did 4 weeks on community first, then 4 weeks on the postnatal ward, and then I'll do 4 weeks on birthing centre and then 4 weeks on community. So in total I do 8 weeks on community and 8 weeks in the hospital in 2 separate areas. So that's 50%. Obviously you have to like do your documentation while you're there, like so that you can get skills ticked off. And yes, you do have a certain amount of skills to get ticked off for first year. But I think that's everything, and I'll probably do a question and answer because I feel like I've left a lot out. But that's my first video, my first proper midwifery video. I can't speak. And that's it for today's video. So that's everything you need to know about midwifery. I've tried to include everything I know. And yeah, so don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and also follow me on Instagram at student midwife Ibby, and there you'll find a lot more midwifery content because I have been updating that regularly. I'm going to try to get onto the YouTube bandwagon and get in with it. But yeah, thanks, bye.